This
This is a video for the Denver Technika machine, which is a new CNC machine, new CNC saw, which has a slightly different process to the old CNC saw in terms of the process.
We have two saws.
So the first thing is to understand, we already have this work order set up. It doesn't have another sheet in there. We have introduce one in a minute, but it does have all these uncut parts which we need to introduce.
The Logotag test folder.
So we have to plan a job for these cuts. So the reason why the process is different is first thing you do is you open up
files first. So you can see that there are two slabs involved.
We have them set up. One is project as a shortcut. It's also on the desktop slab 1 and A and B.
Ignore this gauge one for the time being. Two slabs, 1 and 2.
No, I'm wrong.
I have three
places.
First one has got these three pieces
here. You got back on the horizontal cuts.
Not this.
This is what's been saved from the saw itself.
This one. And where you
next one here. So first thing to do is to make up the slab edge using this function, not the other function.
Initial photo from the slab. This big island with the snap, correct? From the saw bed itself is this one here.
This snap here.
And we are trying to get to these three cutting
right,
tiles.
that's a saw. So that's the sheet made up. Okay. That's all we need to do at this stage. We need to now use this button to put it into a work order.
Three pieces.
Right.
The first thing to do is also to understand the next part of it is to cut the current work order. These ones here.
If you right-click on creation,
clean up the DXF file.
It'll reorder the whole job based on the date. So
now that we know where we're going,
have this one open from beforehand, and you do
in Logotag,
and then I'll import it in, make up a new job. So let's just change the name
system.
RM K220
1 and 2, saving them as we go along.
So let's
whenever
do
you
that
click
again.
the sheet file, we're within sheet cut.
It does come up.
This is the area. So this is the job. It's a database.
So it's going to put it in as a new sheet.
It takes a bit of time because
I don't even think you have to
file
config one of you. Just
press
press
a
tick,
which is quite big, in 5 pieces to cut.
It will
this is a leg.
Ask us to move forward.
Whilst it's trying to
granite
takes a bit of time to come up.
The thickness is already 20 mil determined by the pieces thickness. So it's going to ask us now the saw blade we're using now. We're currently using this one here.
Let's do a new up here.
Be sure of which one you're using.
Cutting folder and the DXF.
Now we have some defects in the slab we've got to be aware of, and we have all these different pieces here. So it's a case of just figuring out which is the most efficient way of doing the job.
And
let's try this first, because it might be that we can get away with it.
Two ways of getting inside of this. You can either double click on here, or more dimensional working order. Didn't see.
So the first thing is we have to understand what's already been cut, so we don't recut things again. You can always tell by the 0, 1.
You can see that there's a problem with drawing.
I know it's a job all the same, more or less, so we're just going to try and use the slab in the best way with this defect in mind. This is probably the best piece, because we can get away with
this clean file. Come back to this.
This section over here.
More about the job.
And if we now use another large section, can we get away with it here?
There's normally always a PDF and
we can
DXF file. Record test. Right. Now we open up the work orders.
So I've tried bringing this in. If I press any button over here to try and drop in, if I try and drop it, I get this beep and nothing's moving. The only way to do it is you press Control and drop it in, and it will be okay.
We're supposed to cut. The other thing we need to do is set
it doesn't make a huge amount of difference on this particular machine that they are touching sometimes, that the slabs are perfect in this way, because we're going to move this piece out of the way before we start cutting it using the saw slab layout. So the first thing we can do,
the key things to do is
go to the manual tab and introduce a free cut using this manual cut,
which is the native format.
We want all the lines should be going in the correct direction, so to the right and either up or down, but make sure that they're in one direction. If you so I press this manual cut to get it across.
However,
if I press
simply try to
that'll now extend it all the way to the slab
from here.
The next thing to do is go to this one here, split slab,
before AutoCAD opens up.
And click on the line itself, and then you click on the direction you want it to go.
See them listed.
It'll suggest you the minimum amount needed based on the slab size. If you want for safety, put
so
it
back to
slightly
basic
more.
Logotag. If you press N, you'll remove
Now,
these.
if you align the red dots
I
on this
only
one,
need the
and
cutting
just press
layers. If I press
you can
C
choose
right now,
400 millimeters. Just press the mouse button, it'll move it across automatically.
So
now you can see it is dead easy just to press bring in T on both of these, and it'll cut them out cleanly. First,
so
we're in the wrong
that layer, but it's already off.
Same
so
process as the other one. In manual tab, you want to delete any unnecessary cuts.
If I press C, this file's in fairly good order. There's nothing that needs to be adjusted to make it work.
The other thing we want to do with this saw is to make sure all the cuts are going in the same direction, and start drawing out. There is a technical reason for that.
Highlight takes the entire lot.
So use this inversion
the edges as
and just turn around the cuts so they're all going in the same direction.
To the same
all
folder.
to the right in this case. Make sure they're all going to the right.
And call it Arena Test Rec.
And downwards.
And when I import it in, it should have three
going upwards.
profiles.
Okay. Again, turn everything to the right.
So
because this saw has an extra axis compared to the other one.
Back into the same button.
You can technically do it with things going all in any direction,
making up a new
but really that's not what we want.
Folder.
If you press U,
thickness needs to be entered. The quantity needs to be entered.
You can see whether there are going to be any overcuts.
Then we go
cutting into the side where you don't want it to be cut. But that looks like in a fairly good state.
Here at the top, the tag file. It's important that it's a tag file.
We want to start extending some of these cuts, which are
F2 rather than F8 to allow 3 easy drops. I tend to count each time. Now it's going to be these two smaller pieces. Which order?
Okay, we want to start extending
the material on the left,
33,
and the thickness
across using F3, which is this button here.
Bring this
to the middle,
and it's brought in
here
three shapes.
And if I press
it's
U, you can
important to see that they are.
It's not making a huge difference. It's not going to damage the slab
because then they've imported incorrectly. They're not open shapes or anything.
Now here we have a slightly different situation. So if I press R,
our parts are here, our sheets are here.
That cut is tiny.
Sheets, and
we probably need to extend that outwards, particularly
more or less the same.
We got
see that there is a line over here. We're using
which is
just inside here.
I mean that really should be till the end of the slab.
I'm going to move these
we have our slab parts here.
Just inside,
normally
just
important
a little
to
bit,
press
using
this
button here, which says once I've imported parts, doesn't damage.
So the other thing to notice is that this cut over here
bring in is going to be photo. Normally our normal photos are stored within this file path.
I've lost the order.
Let's highlight all common pieces, photo system, EOS, calibrated photos. But in our case, I need to.
These dots appear. They don't harm anything, but it's often fine.
We pressed V on the keyboard
twice to get the ordering back.
I need to highlight
cut number 5
using
here.
F2.
If you look at this, it's only going to cut
the correct position.
It's only going to cut 1 millimeter as a marking cut. But we wanted to cut the full depth because we're confident that there's going to be no problem with the actual cut. Now, when we calibrated the slab, I've always got a little bit of extra on the bottom of this slab, although it's showing it's out of the 20 millimeters here. We've got the same situation here. It'll still cut within the slab. So I'm cutting just the horizontal as well as the bigger piece one pass, because I know that's not going to cut there. And so that one's done. Okay.
Right.
So I'm cutting this piece. We're going to delete out cuts 10 and 11. They're too tiny, and it doesn't make any sense.
You remember the earlier drawing?
I'm going to extend out.
You click on the shape, bring it in, and we're going to have this shape at the top.
Save this.
Then we're going to have this shape on this side somewhere, and then this side, this shape.
Okay. As always, it's going to be delete, extend, reorder.
Here somewhere.
We're going to extend out.
First, is align the shapes with each other.
So go back to press right click on this shape
and do this.
So if I extend that out some way and press U,
this particular edge here with this part,
we can see that that's going to be an overcut.
I'll have to bring it momentarily. And this one here, I want to align this part here with this part here.
I think is pretty good.
So it doesn't damage
because we're not going to damage the rest of the piece here.
Select the shape.
I'm going to now extend out.
That's going to
get the number 9
and bring it here. Now I need to,
and that should be. I'm pretty confident that that's
F7, which is that one. And just pick along the edge and move it to somewhere inside.
Normally we end up extending the piece, but that should be
using F3. Pick up the correct.
Right. Let's just double check sequence. Cutting number 9. That's a full cut. So there's no problem there. I'm going to extend
that,
out
just move it along.
7 to
Right,
make it
reorder.
match.
And we see where
I-
we're at. So let's,
now,
let's
as opposed to
extend out
radio
the
cuts,
select all
the
three
first
shapes.
cut.
I'm going to
as
align
opposed
all
to
of
in
them
test world, I prefer the first cut to be the middle one,
to
and then we can do the outside.
this edge
2,
here. I don't
3.
need these dots.
we're actually missing a cut.
I've lost
Are we?
one.
No.
Okay. So if I highlight
I've
all
got an
three shapes
extended
again,
cut here by
So
mistake.
that's in
now
a fairly
move
good
them
stage. Let's check
using
this
the
one now.
cursor, F2.
To
That
this
is
is a
made
fairly
with
straight line. I'm not.
Need-
If I
you've
press
gotta be
U,
careful,
I'm not going to
obviously, to
damage so much
avoid
by extending these cuts. But it'll make
these,
the
something
life
went
for all the
wrong
masons
there.
a lot
You're gonna
easier.
make a free cut
So if I extend and press this,
just from this point here. When
I
you're
wanted
doing
to
the
go
test
to
cut,
the
there is
middle.
no point trying to second guess what how the slab is. Just learn the
U, because that's
just learn the
press
basics
U
in
quite deep
terms
into
of
the
the.
slab.
I'm going to get
layer.
some
So,
overcutting between them, but it's not
in
going to
terms of
be
the function.
cutting
So don't
everything
try and
that dramatically.
save the most amount of material. Just try and
These
get to the
cuts
situation
here
where you
look
the same as
absolutely
this.
fine.
So you can see
This is
here
a hob.
I need to
I
align
can
it completely on the
probably
left-hand side.
delete one of these
With
and
this
have this cut
with this
send
shape
all the
with
way
the yellow
down
edge quite
without
far
any
across,
issues.
and this small one maybe 200
because it is the
millimeters
same
from
line.
this
Just hit to
one.
the edge.
But the point is, I'm trying to avoid this mark here, trying to avoid this mark
For
here.
the sake of
So
the polishing
uh,
machine, I
drawing
probably
this
don't want a full
line
cut
here to go halfway through
between
the
these
mark
two
up here.
because
So let's do that.
so I'm gonna just make these
So
shorter.
6, this
7.
yellow line
And they
is
can
gonna
chop
be
them out by
inside
hand
of
because
this
it's
one here.
better
So
for
this
this.
one goes
It's
right
better for the
across.
polishing machine like that.
Using
Um,
7.
But that's
Which is
pretty
this.
much it
11.
for ease of
12,
removing the thing.
And
That's fine.
this is
We
about
don't
the same
bother
distance we
trying
had
to-
previously.
So that's N to get the
So now if I
naming
move
correct.
a whole lot using the cursor.
Now
I want to
we
avoid this
just
mark here.
do
Press N
the
to show
standard
what job it is, and snip it. Move it down
naming.
slightly.
So it's the
I think
same
that
job
covers
as over
everything more or
here,
less.
but
more or less
it's
the same.
slab number 2 now.
So
Save
positions the same.
And
Save it at this stage.
Generally,
Very
there's only one
important.
program because it tends
Because
to be pretty
You've got
clean.
the positioning exactly correct,
but
if
that
we
will
now
do the
mess
job.
it up, it's not going to cause us a huge problem.
Um,
Right. Now it's routine. We want to pick the slab you want to cut first. So let's have a look at what the first cuts
going
are.
to
It's
copy
this
this
one here and this one here, which is basically the top
and
part of
make
the
up
slab.
the first sheet.
So, no, sorry, we're picking only one slab, changing to any layer, number 4 or 5 or whatever, and pressing
First sheet's
this
done.
button or T on the
uh,
keyboard.
Well,
Tends to be T that we end up
A
pressing
is done, at
for the
least
purpose
program
of the
A.
video.
We need program B.
We
now.
don't need most of these cuts as per the other video.
Program B is
So
just
go
these
to
full
manual,
cuts
and
here.
we
So first thing I do is
delete
undo everything.
pretty much every
until
cut except for the ones
best
on
thing
the
to do is
edge.
keep pressing undo until you start
Just
seeing
'cause
the
we're trying to
sync
copy the
lines
video.
appear. Keep you on the sync because we know that we deleted those first. And it's going to
So
go
it's
now.
the order is always delete, then extend,
These are the two that we had
which
on
is this button here.
as being cut.
So if you looked at the video, you've got
So
an
actually the only
extension
one
of these
that we know
bottom
is going to
cuts.
get cut and out of the way. We're going to move out of the way physically. Is that?
Look at the video. Look
So
at sorry.
we
If
want
you look at
that
the
already
photos, so you
in
can see
in
it's
the
this
correct
way.
layer. Let's
Now we
change
just need to
that
reorganize the
correct
order.
layer.
So the first thing I did was
press
delete,
T,
then
you
extend,
should
and then
see
change the
both
order.
These pieces being cut.
So the
bottom
order
ones.
is 1, 2, 3 on the left, and then the balance on the side.
delete,
So 1,
extend, reorder. We're just
2,
after the 4 horizontal
then
cuts.
3,
4 vertical cuts.
and then
Is there
4,
an order
5,
preference?
6, 7.
No, not really.
Right. Now snipping tool.
You should really extend these down if possible.
And save this. Save it. Arena test record. Now it would be
So we were here.
01A. 01
I'm
stands for
going
the
to
number of
save
slabs,
the
A is
screen
for which
clipping as
program it
B
is. If you highlight
Copy
it
it
and copy that, then you
and
have to
make
do
up
less typing
the,
when it comes to the name.
the new program.
Control V to paste and tick.
There, that's done.
That's what
So
part 1
now
done.
we need to do the
Right.
next
Next
sheet.
stage is to
Save it
undo
down.
until we
It's all
get rid
closed
of
up.
these
Right, sheet cut, work order.
pink cuts. So if you remember, we deleted a whole bunch of cuts.
Work orders
so we wanna
come.
get those back.
Right, enable the working order.
And
Do the second
oops,
sheet. Let's see
keep
what we're
going,
trying to
undo,
achieve.
undo. There. As soon as I see this pink
So
cuts remove, first thing I want to do
one
is
program I
highlight
forgot
the
to do
piece
was
again
C.
and
I
take it
forgot to
away
do
from
this
this
last part
layer
of the
back to
program.
slab edge.
So
Only click
let's
once.
just finish that off quickly.
Now let's go to what is being cut next on this.
Close this down.
Next thing I need to actually
open this up again.
I need to cut all three pieces together. So let's highlight all three pieces, change them to the correct
back
layer.
to the sheet again. Unfortunately, I can't
press
undo
T
stuff,
on the keyboard,
but there is another way of
this button
getting
here.
it back. You can press this button here, which says, "Give me the cuts that I have to do."
The order, as per
This is
usual,
a
is
list of the
delete,
cuts.
extend,
You can simply
and reorder.
highlight these
So
and delete them.
we're deleting
Same thing as
always the
doing
drainer
undo
grooves,
stuff. Right.
and any sync profiles. Now
Just to
we are also
make sure that
deleting,
everything
if you
is in the
remember,
wrong layer.
on the photo.
So all I'm going to do
we're only
is
doing
I've just
horizontal
got them
cuts,
all these three
not
pieces onto the
vertical
slab edge
ones.
layer. I'm going to change only that last
So if you
piece
go back to the
onto
image.
any kind of cutting layer.
Right, so we start at the top,
Just so I
one
can
and
get
right across.
the
We
last
haven't bothered extending
few
on
cuts
that
ready.
particular demonstration.
So as
that
always,
somebody's
delete,
done.
extend, reorder.
Normally it's good practice to extend these cuts across, because depending on what material we're trying to save.
Okay,
This one
I
won't matter so much.
deleted one extra one by mistake, but if I reorder,
Okay,
it'll bring up
it's
the order
also a
again.
good idea to press U to
order
see
1,
how much is being
2,
cut across, whether
3,
you're going to
4,
damage another
5.
piece or not.
That one's done.
So
that's
here,
program
zooming
C.
in, you can see
So
that
even though I
cut
lost
10
my
is
work,
not going to damage
as long as
this
I saved it,
this piece, and this one's not going to damage
it
this
should be
piece.
fine.
U is the function that gives you that.
So this is
You
program
can press
C.
R to get rid of the U, and obviously, if you press reorder, these numbers will come
That's
back.
copied.
Okay, so we're going to have it starting from the
After
top,
the snipping
the
tool,
reordering, 1,
and just rename the
2,
file.
etc.,
So
etc.
that's
all
slab
the way
one
across,
definitely
so that
finished. Yes, save changes to that, and
we
yes,
get a
yes, it's
full.
just saying that the pieces are touching
I'm
each
gonna
other. It
pause
doesn't
the
seem to
video
like
whilst I
that, but that's the way you have to machine these things.
So for the last few,
So we're going to wait for
get
this
the
to
video
close down
zoomed.
and then reopen one of the sheet cuts. One of the same work
18,
order.
19, 20. Same process again. Snipping tool.
Get shut down. So now we open up a sheet cut.
One thing I forgot to do previously was to
Go
make
back
sure
into
that I
the,
have N
work order,
press for name.
And let's open up the
And
second
normally,
slab.
if I press N a few times, you get the correct
And
name on there. It makes it
check over
easier for
here.
the guys offloading from the saw.
So it is just these two
That
elements here that we need to
is
cut. So the
bigger,
first one's
all
going to
it
be the
shows
hob
there.
piece, and then the second one's going to be
Save
the
that.
vertical sections of the hob piece and the adjoining leg.
We're gonna
The key
save
thing
it
to
as
understand
the
here
same
is
as the
both
top
the
one,
leg and
but
the
change that
island
to
are the same width.
B.
So it's going to be, if you look here
Shift and
carefully,
home
there's only
will
one
select
cut. When
everything
you align them
and
correctly, the program
right
understands
click
there's only
and
one cut
copy.
all the way across.
So that allows you to make the program up.
So all we did there was pick the correct blade and press the leftover button, so we know it's only these two pieces that need to be brought in. Camera button.
Paste that across, and that's the second
Second
program done.
slab. Standard
right.
process again. We're going to just go to
Routine
slab
again.
edge,
We undo until we
mark out the edge
see the
of
pink
the
lines
slab.
disappear. Nearly there. Need to make sure we recover these
So
dreaded
using
lines.
F2, we're just drawing lines.
Right. Now, check the next image of we're trying to copy. It's just 3's3, so we need to remove. These ones can stay as a cutting layer number 4, but this one needs to go back to slab edge so it doesn't get picked up by the cutting line again. So now
Next
if we
job
press
is to fill
T
it.
or this button, it's not gonna try and cut this piece, it's only gonna try and cut this. From here, we've cut all the horizontal
Right.
cuts, it's just the vertical cuts
now
we need
the
to
hob
do.
is on the
So
left hand side towards the
manual,
bottom,
delete
and this was here.
all the horizontal cuts.
There is a spacing left between these two. So let's align them first
We
on top
now
of each other and then
go
just move it
to
out of the order.
image.
Well, I'll tell you what,
And
let's
there's no
align
real
this one
order
to the top of the
required
slab
here.
first.
It doesn't make a huge difference. Oops, undo that. So delete
now
and cut by mistake.
Let's move it along
I'm
using
gonna
F7,
swap the order
which
just
is
to be able to
the
see the numbers,
snap,
so
which
that
is
people are
basically
clear.
just brings in.
It really makes no
keeps you
difference
along the
what's
same
in
line.
here. This piece would have been removed,
Now
so you're not
here,
gonna damage it.
I'm going to align it to the
So
top of the
that's the
slab, or I
easiest
can
one.
align it to this piece as well, then move it across. So let's align it to the piece.
Snip.
That way I know it's dead end line.
Save it.
And if I highlight
Onto
it,
program C.
I can pick it up from anywhere along the side, not even on the piece, and move it slightly to the side.
And copy.
There. No drama there. I'm going to move
and
these pieces down a little bit.
make the
using
program up.
this regular snap now. Nothing else happening on the slab.
Done. That's the first test finished.
Okay, I think now we'll see done over here. You can see here that a couple of cuts been made over here. I think it's to do with, right, if you can see here, some extra spacing is left for a mitered edge on this. It's not strictly necessary, but we can just, to try and copy this, we can do the same. So let's get a line halfway across these. It's 96. So if I do, let me do a line. So it's a construction line using F3 from one to the other here. If I do a perpendicular line, using the midpoint snap, and then do a parallel line 1 mil, 10 mil either side. That should allow me to cut exactly like we had over there. Okay, highlight both these pieces, make it to any kind of cutting layer. Now, if you recall, we're getting rid of all these vertical lines here, because that allows us to keep the bottom part of the slab. So that one, that one, that one, and probably that one as well. Yep. You can see here that's already tried to get these cuts across. So deleted all the ones I don't need. Now the other thing to notice is number 9 here. So let's get that one done as well. The way we do that is we make a parallel line. I think it's 110 millimeters from where you want to not smash up your piece. So I made up this line here. It's just in green. You can just about see it. And then make up a parallel line to this green one, 10 millimeters. On this side, so it's outside. Now I'm going to do a free cut from here to here, and I'm going to extend this line out to here, and then extend from here to here. If I press U now, you can see that my staff will get a guidance cut to cut the corner. It won't actually cut the corner though. So that's your number 9 cut that it shows on the drawing. Let's center this. Right, extend it out. I've deleted all the cuts I need to delete, and then just reorder it. So the order we have is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you got these, and then 9 is the last one. So reorder 1, 2, 3, 4, all this stuff, and 9. That's done. So, oops, wrong one. New. Save that. And it's going to be Simon Hambley second slab. Oops, 2. Copy. And get rid of that. Let's save this project so that we don't mess around. If it crashes or deletes or something like that, then at least we don't lose the layout. Right, that part is done. Let's go to the next part of it, which is just the horizontal cuts, so the vertical cuts here. So, if we Control Z to the stage where actually all these cuts are in place, we might not have to make. You can see that the we probably don't need to actually run the T again, because these are only the cuts we have to make. So if we delete from here now all the cuts that have already been cut, we can probably. We're not doing these because if you look on the drawing, it's the middle cuts that we're doing. We're leaving the outside ones empty. Let's make free cuts. Now, both of these are made. If you look in the drawing though, we need to make them the same height as this because it's already been cut once. So we can easily do that by extending from here until that point there, and here till that point there. That's the same as what you have on the other one. And that needs to be extended out to the top. So let's extend this out to here as well, because we've got cuts going across there. It doesn't make a huge difference on the actual order of these cuts. Save to B, copy it, and write the program, and we are done.